Mataji. Sip Ansul, Sip Atmatray, Sip Rekha, Sip Eru, Sip Vinita, Sip Rekha Parvani, Sip Pushpa from Hong Kong. So today we are starting a series by special request, a series of sessions I was requested. It's called Roadblocks to Enlightenment. Guilt. Why is guilt a roadblock to enlightenment? Let me see how many of you can answer this question. Because we all want enlightenment, right? But what are the roadblocks? Today we are going to try to talk about what are the roadblocks. And the first session is guilt. So I have already some champions, spiritual champions, Ashok Chotwani and Samatma ready. So let us start. Ashok Chotwani and then Samatma.
Shivam, sir.
Sure. Bolo, sure.
Sir, it is 100% fact. Due to guilt, we don't advance on our journey of enlightenment.
Why?
Because of continuously remembering that guilt, we suffer too much and we waste our time. After realizing our guilt, we have to accept and promise with ourselves the same mistake we will never do, and let go of our already done guilt and have faith in ourselves and sip. Only then we can continue our journey of enlightenment, and definitely we will be enlightened one day, sir.
Good answer, basic answer, that why guilt is a roadblock to enlightenment. But Ashok Chotwani, you have not got to the heart of the problem. Dil ki dhadkan, matlab dil ki dhadkan. You have to get to that heart. Why is guilt a roadblock to enlightenment? What you say is correct. No, what you say is correct. But I want you to think deeper.
Okay, sir.
What you say is not wrong. What you say is absolutely right. But I want you to think in consciousness. Why is guilt a roadblock to enlightenment? And I want according to me, there are 2 or 3 key points. And what Ashok, you have said, generally you have said all the points. But one or two key points are missing. Let me ask Samatma. Samatma, then Krishna.
Shivoham.
Bolo.
Guilt does not allow us to live in the present moment.
Good.
Because it is always making us live in the past, and we cannot look forward. It is like a pull, always pulling us back. And
Ashok, this you said, but you said in a very fast manner. Up, jaldi bolte gaye. See, Samatma is catching the point by the neck. Guilt makes us live in the past. The past, guilt is over. The guilt, what is Samatma? What is guilt?
Guilt is I'm ashamed of something that I have done, or I'm regretting something that I have done.
Good, very good. So some people, sometimes we forget the meaning of exactly. So guilt is, oh, I did like this. I should not have done like that. Oh, why I did like this? I should not have done like that. You've already done it now. You've already done it. Now you keep on, you nurse your hurt, you curse your hurt, you rehearse your hurt. How it will happen? How will you get enlightenment? But Samatma, what is a deeper point?
Because of this, we are living in fear. We are not having a free mind or a clear, there is no clarity. And to be in consciousness, you have to have an open and clear mind. And unless you're in consciousness, you cannot be enlightened.
So you have got a very key point. Ashok Chotwani said this point Ashok Chotwani told in his Chotwani style, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But same thing, Samatma has caught only one point. Guilt makes us live in yesterday. As long as you live in yesterday, it's a roadblock to enlightenment. But there's another key point, Krishna, and then Yogini and Rumataji. Krishna. Yes, Krishna.
See, I think I'm continuing her point. I think guilt is because of some of our action with our body or mind or our intellect. So that You said ki we have to be, you should transcend your body and mind. I'm not the body, I'm not the mind. फिर guilt कहाँ से आएगा? So I think you have to drop that.
You have caught, अरे Krishna, new person has caught the Ashok Chotwani. देखो कैसे दिल के अंदर went deep and Samatma. See, this is a deeper point. Krishna says, अरे sir, आप भी बोलते हैं कि we are not body, mind, and ego. Guilt. Why should I worry about something which body, mind, ego did? अरे वो body किया ना, मैंने नहीं किया ना. That mind and ego, me, that fellow did. That fellow, that one. But the problem is we are clinging to that one. You are clinging to that one. That's why you are guilty. If you leave that one, suppose you are Samhita. Samhita is guilty, but Samatma is not guilty. If you are a transformed person, Komal is guilty. Komal has guilt, but Yogini doesn't have guilt. Once you become Yogini, then where is the guilt? Then there is no guilt. I am Yogini. Who is guilty? Chotwani is guilty, but I am not Chotwani. Are you getting the point? So good, very good, Krishna. You have got the core point. Guilt. The moment there is guilt, it means we are clinging on to the body, mind, ego, intellect. That means we are stuck there. And that's a big roadblock. That is the main roadblock. Then the second roadblock is what Samatma said. Guilt is making us live in the past. You can't achieve enlightenment when you're in the past. You have to be in the present moment because the past doesn't exist. There's no past. What is the past? There's no past. In spirituality, there is no past. Only now. There's no future. Only now. Is there any guarantee tomorrow this call will be there? No. Did anybody know 25,000 people will die in Turkey and Syria? Did anybody know in one day, Tamal, and 25,000 people will die? Nobody knew it. So with that note, let us now go on to Yogini. Good, thank you, Krishna. Yogini, Rumataji, and Krishna. Very good answer. Yogini.
शिवोहम सर.
Shivoham, bolo.
Guilt उसको होता है जो ignorant है and who is still in I. मैं ये हूँ, मैंने ये किया. If you transcend that, there is no guilt. So when we still our mind to be in consciousness, state of consciousness, the mind will try to stop us from going into that silence because it doesn't want us to get peace. That's why it brings us into this guilt. अगर हम इसको समझ लेंगे तो फिर कोई guilt नहीं है. Then we can go on a spiritual path.
Along with guilt, tell me if you understand. What you say is very correct. Beautiful answer. But along with guilt, what else we drop? Tell me.
Along with guilt,
we drop something else.
The fear.
Okay. What else we drop?
The ignorance that this is me, body, correct, mind, and ego.
And when you drop that, when you get the realization, I'm not the body, mind, ego, what else do you drop?
I overcome ignorance.
But what do you drop? You drop guilt. But guilt is a byproduct. You drop the main, what's the main thing you drop? Yes, now you said it also. You like Chotwani, you also, you said it. But you're saying it, you passed the point. So think about it. Rumataji. Rumataji and then Krishna. Rumataji.
Guruji Pranam Shivoham. Guruji,
Namaskar.
when we are in consciousness, then we don't think of guilt. But when we are living as body, mind, and ego, then we cling to guilt. And
Correct.
not only we going past, we rehearse it, we curse it, and remember it again and again and again, and make it enemy of ourselves.
Correct. So how that becomes the roadblock to enlightenment?
Because we are clinging to it only and we are not thinking that it is nothing.
How it becomes a roadblock?
We are not in consciousness.
Correct. And that we are not in consciousness, then what are you in?
In body, mind, and ego state.
ऐसे बोलो ना. The moment you are in guilt, what are you?
What
You are
are
the
we
mind.
living as
You are me.
I?
You become
Yes.
me, mind and ego,
Yes.
me, not just
Yes.
I. The moment you, who is guilty? Kiran Kathuria. Kiran
Yes.
Kathuria is guilty. But
Yes.
Ru Mata ji ne, अरे मैं तो किरण कथुरिया थोड़ी हूँ. किरण
हाँ,
कथुरिया
रूह
ने
की
कुछ
तरह
किया.
रहेंगे, रूह की तरह रहेंगे, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, कोई गिल्ट नहीं है, कुछ नहीं.
एग्जैक्ट. किरण कथुरिया गिल्टी है. किरण कथुरिया को गिल्ट है, लेकिन रूह को गिल्ट कहाँ है?
बिल्कुल गुरु, you are right.
As long as if I am Ravi, Ravi can be guilty. But AiR, how can AiR be guilty? I am
Yes.
not Ravi. But the problem is we are not able to pass that we are clinging to that name.
Yes.
How much I tell you all, give up that name. Sometimes I tell you all, so Sunil Chittal did something. Sunil Chittal might be guilty, but Chidanand, the moment is I am Chidanand, Hamesha Chitta ke Anand mein. Then where is the question of guilt? See, we are not, many of you are not taking this journey seriously, and many of you are taking it seriously. See, for example, now Samita, she has forgotten Samita. She has actually become Samatma. Now, some of you are very serious about this journey, but some of you, kabhi khushi, kabhi gum, kabhi din, kabhi raat, kabhi Sunil, kabhi Chidanand. No, kabhi Sunil, kabhi Chidanand means you will never be Chidanand. I know it's difficult. For example, Sunil Chittal to go in his office and tell I'm Chidanand. Sunil Chittal, they'll say, Chidanand kaun hai? And how to explain all these dumb people who don't understand. But you have to. If Bharat living in consciousness suddenly says, oh, I'm Bharat, I'm Bliko, he confuses. No. If bliss is bliss, then bliss is not Bridget. If the moment she is Bridget, then she is guilty. The guilt will come back. But if I'm bliss, I am no more Bridget. Bridget might have been guilty for something, not me. I am not that person. Okay, good. So, good, Rumataji. Krishan Singer.
Shivam, sir.
Shivam,
guilt is belongs to past event, which is done by either body or either by my mind. Guilt is raised due to any unwanted activity or unethical activity, which is done by body, either by body or either by mind.
Correct.
And I know that I'm not this body and not mind. I'm a conscious person.
Yeah.
So guilt will be not a roadblock for me in path of enlightenment.
When it will not be a roadblock? Normally it is a roadblock. How do we not make it a roadblock?
When I live in consciousness, it will not roadblock for me.
Correct. Good. So when you live in consciousness, what happens in consciousness is there's no mind. When there is no mind, then there is no ego. But you must say it systematically, Krishan. When I live in consciousness, there is no mind. The mind is the one creating the ego, then there is no ego. There is no mind and ego, there is no me. If there is no me, then who is guilty?
Yeah.
If there is no me, then who is guilty? There is no guilt.
Yes, sir.
Guilt is built. Guilt is built on the body, mind, and ego.
And
Guilt
I'm
is
not
built. But I'm not the body, mind, ego. Then where's the question of me being guilty? Siddhana. RK is being so much closely in the video. Siddhana.
Shivam Guruji.
Shivoham.
Basically, once you drop the sense of doership, You ask what else you should drop. I think the sense of doership has to be dropped. And
Oh,
it
oh,
naturally happens when you still the mind and transcend the ego. And that means you live in consciousness. The first thing you drop is sense of doership.
no, but
And
one thing,
when
what I
that
was,
goes, the
Chirana,
guilt automatically is
no,
non-existent.
but Chirana, that I was asking something else. What is the major thing that we have to drop first? Then only guilt will go. What is that major thing?
I.
Okay, when you drop, you're right. I, the doership, I, and mind and ego, me. The moment when you drop the mind and ego, me, guilt comes later. Guilt is a byproduct. It's a tributary of the main river. What is the main thing we drop along with mind and ego, me? You
We
all
have
have
to live in the
forgotten.
presence.
No, this is the most important answer you are not getting. The most important answer, this. When you drop, what is it that you drop? If you drop this, guilt will evaporate. What is this? Girish and Samatma. And then Chidanand, if you want to come back. If you drop this, guilt will evaporate. Girish.
AiR.
Huh?
Karma.
Absolutely right. Good, Girish. Girish and consciousness. So please understand, the moment we drop mind and ego, me, immediately what we drop is all karma. When we drop all karma, what is guilt? Where is guilt coming from? Guilt is born out of karma. A bad action, a guilty action is only causing guilt. A bad karma is causing guilt. When I have dropped all karma, Girish says so perfectly right. When you have dropped all karma, then where is the question of guilt? There is no guilt. It is just like you went shopping for laddus and you put the laddu in one dabba and you put the dabba in one shopping bag. You went to shop laddu, you put laddu in a dabba and dabba in a bag. Now you threw the bag in the river. Where is the laddu? Where is the laddu? Laddu was in the dabba. Dabba is in the bag. You threw the bag itself. Nah. So where is the laddu? Guilt was created by mind and ego. Mind and ego did karma. The karma, you are guilty about that karma, that deed. Now you have transcended mind and ego. There is no karma. If there is no karma, where is the guilt coming from? So the moment, I know who I asked Yogini, I think. So Yogini understood. The moment you are able to transcend all karma, guilt evaporates. There is no guilt. Absolutely no guilt. Chidanand. So we are doing a series. We are going to do a series of roadblocks of enlightenment. Whatever, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We will do series of enlightenment. But remember one thing before I go on to Chidanand. See, this journey of enlightenment is not like going to the park. Don't think one day you go to the park, you sit down on the bench and you talk to some people. Next day you decide to go for pani puri. You go and try for pani puri. And third day you have masala dosa. And fourth day you have pakoda. And enlightenment will become. You think enlightenment is a joke? You think this journey of spirituality is a joke? It's not. Don't think that anybody and everybody is blessed for this journey. You will be. I know hundreds of people who have come on this call. Hundreds of people. You also know. Sometimes they disappear. I'm not talking of somebody like Sanjay Das who went up in the sky. No, he passed away. But many people come on this call. They attend sometime 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, sometime 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. How many people come on this call every day? How many people participate on this call every day asking questions? Not too many. Couple of dozen, 2 dozen, 3 dozen. Hardly I can remember the names. Maybe 30, 40, 50 people. I can know all your names. Those who are really serious about this journey. It's not easy, my dear friends. We get carried away. We get lost. And then we are caught in this thought and caught in this journey of samsara. Chidanand.
Yeah, I think that karma can be dropped only if you have aparoksha anubhuti. Because without aparoksha anubhuti, the chidyante sarva samshaya never happens. And all the karmas cannot get dropped, because in anubhuti only, I think, past, present, all sanchita, prarabdha and kriyaman comes to an end.
So basically, it is. I don't like to confuse the group with the Sanskrit no Chidanand. So what it is basically, when there is enlightenment, when there is
Yes.
the realization of the truth, it's very simple. What is the realization? I am Samatma. Samhita was my name. I am no more Samhita. I am Samatma. I know. I can take the liberty of telling you. I know Samatma struggles. She has a family, she has people who are near and dear to her, but she is committed to her journey. You think it's easy for her to come to this call? No, there are many people who are pulling her away from this call. And there are many people who will do things specifically where she can't be on audio or can't be on video. But I know, she tells me how she fights. And I know some of you can't help it. So some of you, oh no, koi shadi hai, 1 week I'm going for shadi. हिंदी में बोलते हैं शादी के लिए जा रहे हूँ, मुक्ति को तेल लगाओ, तेल लगाओ, तेल लगाओ. तो तेल लगाना मतलब मुक्ति को गोली मारो. हाँ, एक 1 week मुक्ति को छुट्टी. No. So it's not easy.
It should be only priority. You
Yeah.
cannot have multiple priorities.
Yeah. So who was speaking with Chidanand? Did you have the mic? Were you supposed to say something?
No, I just said without anubhuti, karmas cannot be
So
dissolved.
good. So I was telling you that anubhuti, what Chidanand is talking about, is nothing but enlightenment. It is realization of the truth. What is this realization? I am not Komal. I am not Komal. I am not this body. I am not the mind and ego being. I drop all karma. The moment I drop karma, I drop guilt. The moment I drop karma is the train. Guilt is the passenger in the train. The moment the train is gone, the passenger also is gone. I give you the example of laddu, dabba and bag. The moment that bag is thrown in the river Samundar, the laddu also is gone. Both are gone. Okay, so who else would like to ask questions? We have another 5, 6. So I told you we'll be doing a series of roadblocks to enlightenment. My dear friends, if you are stuck with guilt, if you're going to live with guilt, you cannot get enlightenment. If you are going to continue living in the past, oh, I did like this, I did like this, I did like this, you have to realize I am not that person. That person is dead and gone. That person is no more. When you have that realization, that person is no more, then where is the guilt? Then there is no guilt. So who would like to ask some more questions? Yes, Rekha. Kailash. Yogini.
Shivam, sir.
Sure,
Sir, you must have courage to come out of this guilt, na?
You don't need courage. You don't need courage. Because courage cannot overcome guilt. Courage can only put a blanket on guilt. But the minute the blanket comes out, the guilt will remain there. Okay. Courage is only a temporary way of overcoming. You can overcome guilt for the moment. But when you wake up in the morning, guilt will come back. But to eliminate guilt completely, if you say, I am not Komal, Komal is guilty. I am enlightened to be yogini. The moment you become yogini, अरे कोमल को गोली मारो, कोमल ने कुछ किया, मैं थोड़ी कोमल. Enlightenment is the way. And as long as you have guilt, you can't have enlightenment. As long as there's enlightenment, there can be no guilt. If there is guilt, there is no enlightenment. If there is enlightenment, there is no guilt. What is the enlightenment? The one who has done the wrong thing, the one who was guilty is dead, is no more. Somebody come and ask me, Ravi, can I meet Ravi? I say, which Ravi? Somebody says, can I meet Ravi? I say, which Ravi? I say, Ravi is dead. Ravi is dead and gone. No more. He's no more. You have to have the courage. Kailash.
Thank you, sir.
Kailash.
Shivam Guruji.
Shivoham.
My question is, Guruji, one that about the karmas. That's I heard from many pupils that every karma is written in our life. So, what is your answer for that?
What do you mean every karma? Of course, karma is recorded. It's not written. It's recorded by karma. Whatever deed you do, good or bad, it gets recorded. Just like I'm asking you, if you do a transaction for your credit card, the bank will record the transaction or it will not record the transaction.
Yes, that will be recorded, sir.
Yeah, debit and credit. No chance of missing. No chance of missing.
Guruji, if today you are in Singapore or other days, so everything is written. If we talk about that's we need to go there.
No,
Okay.
no. It's not written.
Okay.
You have a free will. You can go to the park or you can go to the bar. It is not written that you will have whiskey. It will not written. It is not written who you will meet. It is not written who you will marry. It is not written how many children you will have. No.
Right.
Some people say, what to do? I got 8 children. What to do? It is written. No, it is not written for you to have 8 children. It is your action. It is your action that you got 8 children. It is not written you got 8 children.
But some people say that everyday food is also written that you need to go there and
because you listen to all these people, you get stressed out, Kailash. Stop listening to these people.
Right, sir. Right.
Bliss, thank you. Bliss. My dear Bliss.
Hi, Shvam there.
Shivoham there.
I have right to you. You can read, please.
You have right to me and I have right reading for you. Bliss says, before enlightenment, is it normal for life to become a kind of chaos around life? No. Before enlightenment, there need not be any chaos. Okay. It may be chaos. It may be. It may not be. But definitely, there is what is called the nesting phase. It is called the nesting phase. How in a nest an egg is born. There is a nesting phase. There is a testing phase. There is an arresting phase. There is a testing phase. There is first a nesting phase. Then there is the testing phase. Then there is an arresting phase. And finally, there's a cresting phase. You understand? Cresting means you're crowned. But before that crowned, you have got, there will be many tests. There will be many challenges, but there need not be chaos. But enlightenment is not an easy journey.
The word is not. It's maybe not the good.
Somebody told me, Bliss, somebody told me, why you didn't make me enlightened? I said, how can I make you enlightened? I'm waiting for you to come and make me enlightened. I'm waiting for you. Why you are not making me enlightened? How can I come to make you enlightened? No, I'm waiting for you only. Now you come and make me enlightened. How I can make you enlightened? Is it possible?
No, we have to get enlightened.
So
we have to understand what we have to do to get enlightened also.
Enlightenment is not an easy journey. Enlightenment is a tough journey. You know, it's like climbing Mont Blanc. Now, Mont Blanc in France is like Mount Everest in India. You cannot climb Mont Blanc. Anybody cannot climb the mountain. It's not easy. So it is a challenge to do. So enlightenment is not easy. It is a challenge.
You have the right word. It's a challenge for everyone to get enlightened because we have tests every day in the road.
Yeah, good. So who's next question? Who's asking the next question?
Thank you.
Thank you. We have a few minutes to close. Anybody wants to ask a question, or I will wind up the topic. I will give you another 2-3 minutes of silence. Anybody wants to ask any question on guilt, on enlightenment, or anything else? Yoga Narasimhan, and then Krishna. Yoga Narasimhan.
Shivam, sir.
Shivam.
Sir, if you do unlawful activity, then that kind of guilt will not go, no, sir. Like tax fraud and all that. It will come back to you.
No, every guilt will go. See, let me explain to you. In life, I also have done unlawful activities. When I was in business, I also have done. But am I guilty about it now?
No.
Tell me why.
I don't know, sir.
I am not guilty about it because I am not doing any more unlawful activities.
Okay.
One lady came to me and she said, I am guilty of saying lies. What she told me?
Guilty of saying lies.
I'm saying I'm guilty of saying lies. So I told, okay, you're guilty of saying lies. So now I explained to her, you're not the body, you're not the mind and ego, you're not me. So, the moment you realize that you are not that person who's saying lies, then you overcome the guilt. Correct?
Yes. Sir.
So that lady, she had a lot of guilt, that lady. And after some time, she came back to me and then I asked her, so now are you okay? So she said, no, I'm not okay. So, Girish, I asked her, when I asked her, so why you are not yet okay? She said, the problem is I'm still saying lies. she said, the problem is I'm still saying lies. Now tell me, Yoga Narasimhan, if she is still saying lies, then can she overcome the guilt?
No, sir.
If you have done tax fraud and you are still doing tax fraud, then can you overcome the guilt?
No.
But if you stop doing the tax fraud,
then the guilt won't come. The tax authorities will catch, no, sir.
No, don't worry about the bank authorities catch. You can see sometimes some kind of things you can't undo. Suppose you are cheated the government 25 years back and you have not paid tax. What to do today? What you can do is the government would have taken that money and served poor people on the street. You go and you serve the poor people on the street and try to negate that bad karma. Okay. There's a way to negate every bad karma. Let me give you an example, very good example, Logan. And what I told you was very important just now about guilt.
Yeah.
Now, suppose I was torturing somebody.
Okay.
I was torturing somebody. And that person died.
Oh.
Now I am guilty. I am guilty. What to do? I tortured. That person died. Now what to do? Can I go to the grave? And pull that person out and say sorry?
No.
So that bad karma can be negated, first of all, by realizing that I am not the body, mind, ego. You transcend, you get enlightened. But if you want to undo that bad karma, you do good karma to people who are being tortured by others. Suppose there's somebody in your neighborhood who's tortured by others. Suppose there's a dog on the street who's being tortured. Suppose there's a cat who's being tortured. Suppose there's a bird that's being tortured. One person came and told me, I tortured my wife. What they told, I tortured my wife. I locked my wife for 20 years in the house and did not let her go outside.
Okay.
Yoga Narasimhan.
Yes.
He's guilty. He's guilty. He locked his wife in the house for 20 years, did not let his wife go anywhere. Okay. So he came and told me what to do. So I told, now, how do you negate that? No, I'm very guilty. I'm very guilty what I did. So first thing I told you, if you continue, that lady, if she continues saying lies, she'll have guilt. If you continue doing fraud, Yoga Narasimhan, you'll have guilt. So I told this man, your wife has died, what to do? You want to give her freedom. You know what he told me he's doing? Do you know?
No, sir.
Every day he would go to the market and he would buy some birds and let them out of the cage. Every day he would release some birds in the sky. Sometimes he would go to the chickens where the chicken is going to be slaughtered. He would buy 2 chickens and let them in the forest. He would let them free. He would buy 4 geese. Monday he showed me he bought 4 geese and he came and gave the geese to me. He came and gave the geese to me. Those geese are in my terrace.
Okay.
Otherwise, those geese would have had, somebody would have had good turkey and geese for Christmas dinner. In Christmas dinner, they have nice turkey. So this geese would have been slaughtered. But this was a way for him to overcome the guilt by locking his wife for 20 years in the house. And she died.
Oh.
So I have told you, if you have done some tax fraud, you can't change that sometimes. Suppose you have done something wrong, you can't change it. But first step is being enlightened. Second step, don't repeat it. Yes. So that why that lady was guilty to me, she said, I'm guilty because of my lies. And she's continuing to be guilty because she's still telling lies.
Yeah.
I don't know, how can I give you, there's no solution to you. I don't, your solution of overcoming guilt is when you stop what you're doing. You stop doing fraud. You stop doing the bank fraud. Yoga Narasimhan. Unless
Yes.
you stop doing the bank fraud, how can you get free from guilt? You can't be free from guilt.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And then you try to make good for it. Okay, last question. Anybody? Before we close, anybody raise their hands? So, my dear friends, administrator told me you're talking too much, so shut up. So an administrator said, mute, you're muting you. You cannot talk so much. Keep quiet. So, so to close the session today, there are many things that are holding us back from enlightenment. Guilt. What did my Dada told me? Duty, lust, shame, guilt. So we will take one by one. And today, see, guilt is a very bad feeling. Because if we live with guilt, we cannot be enlightened. Who is living with guilt? The body, mind, and ego. But I am not the body, mind, ego. If I'm not the body, mind, ego, then why the guilt? Now, it's easy for me to say it, right? Some of you are living with guilt. Some of you have guilt for something. Oh, I did this wrong. I did that wrong. Sometimes we rob from somebody. Sometimes we steal from somebody. Sometimes we lie. Sometimes we hurt. Sometimes we cheat. All these are many acts where we are guilty. But what can we do? What can we do? So it's for us to use our conscientiousness and our conscience to realize if we have done something wrong, that all this is karmic. And all this, if something is over, can you change it? An enlightened person knows I can't change what is over. But an enlightened person knows I can change my action today. If Yoga Narasimhan says, what about fraud I did in the past? I can't change the fraud of the past, but I can stop doing the fraud today. I cannot change my anything which is in the past, but the future I can change. And the future depends on what I do today. So my dear friends, because of these things hold us, and you must be open in asking questions. Suppose a guilt question is there. You don't have to put it as your name. Say, my friend is guilty of this. Sometimes you feel bad to say it. But if you don't ask the question, how will you get the answer? Today, Yoga Narasimhan asked an important question. If he had not asked the question, he would not get the answer. And I'm grateful Samatma brought about the important point, and then Krishna brought about the main point, and Ashok Chotwani started the discussion with 3 spiritual champions of today. First, Ashok Chotwani gave the basic ABCDE of this guilt. Then Samatma said, as long as we are living in guilt, we are living in the past. And as long as we live in the past, we cannot be enlightened. Am I right, Samatma? This is what you said. And Krishna, one of our new members, Krishna came and said, she said, who is guilty? That body, mind, ego, but I am not that now. Then where is guilt? That is the analogy I told you. You are worrying about the laddu. The laddu is in the dabba is in the bag, and you've already thrown the bag. Now you're asking where is the laddu. So I explained to you all, as long as we are holding on to our ME, mind and ego, me, we are holding on to our karma, we are holding on to our guilt. The moment you drop the mind and ego, me, you drop all karma, you drop all guilt. It's just like the train. The train is gone and you're worrying where is the passenger. The train is gone, the passenger was in the train. The passenger also is gone. So if your karma is gone, your guilt is gone. Train is gone, passenger is gone. That means if you have dropped the karma, you drop the guilt because you have dropped the mind and ego, me. The moment you drop the mind and ego, me, you are free. The moment you drop the mind and ego, me, you are free. With folded hands, I bow down to you.